Welcome back, Deep Divers. Ready for another journey into the past. Today we're cracking open The Richest Man in Babylon, a classic packed with, well, you guessed it, financial wisdom.
This one's a bit different though, right? I mean, we're talking ancient Babylon here.
Yeah.
Clay tablets, chariots, the whole shebang.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. Even though it was written almost a century ago, the advice in this book, it's timeless, super relevant to our lives today, even with all our fancy apps and, the internet and stuff.
Totally. It's all about those fundamental principles of wealth building. And guess what? They haven't changed that much.
Nope, not at all. So picture this. Bustling marketplaces, magnificent temples, the Euphrates River flowing through a city known for its, well, riches. And in the heart of it all, a guy named Arcad, once a humble scribe who, through sheer grit and a knack for, well, smart money moves, becomes the richest man in Babylon.
Talk about a glow up, right? But his story isn't just some rags to riches fairy tale. It's about strategy, about a system for building wealth that, honestly, anyone can follow.
And he shares this wisdom, right? He lays it all out in these 7 cures for a lean purse. Think of them as financial prescriptions for prosperity, Babylonian style.
And let me tell you, these cures, they're potent stuff. They go way beyond just making money. They're about building a healthy relationship with your finances and really understanding the power of money.
Okay, so cure number 1, start thy purse to fattening. Sounds pretty basic, right? Save at least 1/10 of what you earn.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what was the Babylonian mindset behind this? Did they have specific savings goals?
It wasn't just about hoarding wealth for them. Saving was like a sign of self-respect, a way to show that you had control over your finances, that you were building a solid foundation for the future. For unexpected expenses, investing in opportunities, that kind of thing.
So it's like building that financial resilience, that sense of security.
Exactly. And that leads us to cure number 2. Control thy expenditures. Now, this is where things get a bit introspective. It's about really looking at our spending habits. Something tells me even those Babylonians had their own version of, impulse buys.
Well, I'm sure they did. Maybe it was like a shiny new chariot or, I don't know, some extravagant feast.
Maybe. But the point is, human nature, it hasn't really changed that much. We still fall for those temptations, those quick hits of gratification. So this cure, it stresses budgeting, prioritizing those needs over the wants.
Okay, but did they have budgeting tools back then? I can't picture them with spreadsheets on clay tablet.
Probably not spreadsheets, but those clay tablets we talked about, they weren't just for credit. They used them for record keeping too. Like a super detailed financial journal. I guess that's how they track their income and expenses.
So it was all about awareness, knowing where your money was going.
Exactly. And once you have that awareness, well, that's when the fun really begins. Cure number 3, make thy gold multiply. Time to put those savings to work.
Okay, so this is where things get interesting. This is where they start investing, right? But, how did they even invest back then? No stock market, no fancy investment apps?
Nope, their options were definitely more, let's say, tangible. Things like lending money with interest, buying real estate, investing in businesses, even financing those big trading caravans.
So, Arcad lending to Agar, the shield maker.
Yeah.
That was a direct investment in someone's craft and, their business.
Exactly. And, it highlights a key investment principle that's still relevant: diversification. They wouldn't put all their gold with just one chariot maker, so to speak, spreading the wealth across different ventures.
That's smart, right? Minimizing risk.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
But of course, investing always has some level of risk. Cure number 4 reminds us, guard thy treasures from loss. Arcad, even he learned this the hard way. Remember that story about him crusting a brickmaker's advice on buying jewels? Lost a chunk of his savings there.
Ouch, that's gotta sting.
Yeah, but the lesson here goes beyond just avoiding bad investments. It's about due diligence, seeking out expert advice before you jump into anything. Arcad, he trusted the wrong guy, someone outside their area of expertise.
Yeah, he got caught up in the hype, didn't think things through.
Right. And even in ancient Babylon, buyer beware was solid advice. Don't just chase those shiny opportunities, understand the risks, and hey, talk to the people who really know their stuff.
So, cure number 5 is one that still gets people talking today. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. Arcad. He was all about owning your home, not renting. Did they even have mortgages back then?
Mortgages. I'm not sure about the specifics. But that whole idea of owning your dwelling, it was huge for them. A symbol of security, stability, and, just that pride of ownership, like a really solid investment.
It's interesting, right, that even thousands of years ago, people were like, Yeah, owning a piece of land, having a place to call your own, that's where it's at.
Totally. And, it also kind of hints at the idea of leverage, using borrowed funds to get your hands on an asset that's likely to, increase in value.
So they were already thinking about making their money work harder for them, even when it came to, well, putting a roof over their heads.
Exactly. And now let's fast forward a bit, shall we? Cure number 6, ensure a future income. This is their version of, well, retirement planning.
Right. And Arcad, he tells this story about a farmer who's like diligently putting away small sums for his son's future, showing how even small, consistent contributions can grow over time. But what did retirement even look like in ancient Babylon? Did they have those like retirement communities with shuffleboard and early bird specials?
Probably not shuffleboard, but they definitely understood the importance of planning for a time when they couldn't work, or when they might need that extra financial support.
Yeah.
Maybe they invested in land for passive income or relied on family, or maybe even continued working in some capacity.
So it's like the strategies might have been different, but the core idea remains the same. Think ahead, plan for the future, and create those multiple streams of income.
Exactly. And now, for our final cure, we circle back to personal development. Cure number 7. Increase thy ability to earn. Arcad was a firm believer in continuous learning, always honing your skills.
Yeah, like investing in yourself.
Wow.
Always striving to get better at what you do, stay ahead of the game. Sounds pretty relevant to our world today, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in a world where everything's constantly changing, evolving, the ability to adapt and pick up new skills, that's more crucial than ever.
Totally. So these 7 cures, they're a pretty solid foundation, right?
Yeah.
But The Richest Man in Babylon doesn't stop there. It dives deeper using these fascinating parables, stories that illustrate these principles in action.
Ah, yes. The Babylonian storytelling. Get ready for some financial fables, folks. These parables are like little windows into, how they thought about things back then. Wealth, luck, making those big financial decisions.
It's wild how much of it still, like, rings true today.
Right. So which one should we jump into first?
Oh, how about the goddess of good luck? I've always loved that one. It really challenges that whole idea that luck is just, random chance.
Exactly. They didn't believe in just, like, winning the lottery or finding buried treasure. Good luck. It was about being ready, spotting those opportunities, and, jumping on them.
So it's more like, hey, luck favors the prepared kind of a deal.
Exactly. Remember that story about the merchant who missed out on that big deal because he just kept putting things off? By the time he finally made up his mind, well, poof, opportunity vanished.
Oof, I've been there. That what-if feeling when you let something slip away.
It happens. But they believed you could, like, cultivate good luck by building those habits, those mindsets.
Wait, like lucky charms, rituals, sacrificing to the gods of fortune.
Not quite. Think more like self-discipline, taking action, setting clear goals, working hard, getting advice from the right people, and being bold. Going for it.
So it's less about waiting for luck to strike and more about like setting yourself up for success.
Exactly. It's about being proactive, not just hoping for the best.
Okay, feeling empowered already. But let's be real, we don't always make those perfect choices. We mess up, make those mistakes, and sometimes, well, they cost us. Big time.
Oh, yeah. And that brings us to Nomasir, Arkad's son. Remember, he got that bag of gold and was sent out to, prove himself.
Oh, yeah, the prodigal son, Babylonian style.
Hmm.
He didn't exactly make those wise financial moves, did he?
Nope, not really. He went on a bit of a spending spree, gambled, trusted the wrong people, the whole 9 yards.
Classic financial blunders. But wait, then he remembers those 5 laws of gold.
Yeah.
Inscribed on that clay tablet.
Like his financial compass, guiding him back to, the right path.
And those 5 laws, those are like the core of the whole book, right?
They're the foundation, the guiding principles for building wealth. And you know what? They still hold up today. Amazing, right?
Okay, let's break them down, see how they apply to us in the 21st century. Law number 1. Gold cometh gladly, and in increasing quantity to any man who will put by not less than 1/10 of his earnings to create an estate for his future and that of his family. Sounds familiar.
Pay yourself first. Right, that's the key. Consistency and thinking long term. Even small amounts, they add up over time.
They were onto the power of compound interest, even back then. No fancy spreadsheets needed.
Amazing, isn't it? Law number 2. Gold laboreth diligently and contentedly for the wise owner who finds for it profitable employment, multiplying even as the flocks of the field. Now we're talking investing.
Putting that money to work. But what does that even mean for us today?
It means finding investments that match, your goals and how much risk you're comfortable with. Just like they had their options, lending, real estate, trade. We've got stocks, bonds, real estate, even, crypto.
Diversification is still key.
Oh, absolutely. Spread that risk, do your research, and hey, get advice from those financial experts.
Law number 3. Gold clingeth to the protection of the cautious owner who invests it under the advice of men wise in its handling.
Echoes that whole jewel fiasco, right? Seek expert advice. Do your due diligence before you jump in.
Surround yourself with those who know more than you, especially when it comes to, your money.
Exactly. Okay, law number 4. Gold slippeth away from the man who invests it in businesses or purposes with which he's not familiar or which are not approved by those skilled in its keep. This is about, staying in your lane, right?
Don't chase those get-rich-quick schemes. Stick with what you know.
Exactly. Not all investments are created equal, right? Some are riskier than others. Do your homework. Make sure it aligns with your goals. If it sounds too good to be true, well, it probably is.
Avoid those financial snake oil salesmen.
Exactly. Okay, law number 5. Gold flees the man who would force it to impossible earnings, or who followeth the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers, or who trusts it to his own inexperience and romantic desires in investment. This one kind of wraps it all up.
Don't get greedy. Keep those expectations in check.
Investing, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Slow and steady, remember. Be patient, make those smart choices, and don't let emotions cloud your judgment.
Stick to those fundamentals, get that good advice, and hey, be patient.
You got it. Those 5 laws, they might sound simple, but they're packed with wisdom.
Like ancient financial proverbs, right? Timeless and relevant even today.
Speaking of timeless, let's talk debt. The clay tablets from Babylon, that's a powerful one. About Dabasir, a former slave who comes back to Babylon determined to, turn his life around.
This one always gets me thinking, financial struggles, they've been around forever.
Dabasir's story is like a testament to discipline and sticking to those sound financial principles.
The first thing he does, writes down all his debts on those clay tablets.
Acknowledging the problem, right? Taking ownership.
No hiding from reality. And his plan, it's like straight out of a modern-day financial guidebook.
He saves 1/10 of his earnings, lives on 7/10, and uses 2/10 to pay off those debts.
Budgeting and debt repayment, Babylonian style.
But it's more than just getting out of debt. He also focuses on, personal growth, building a future for himself.
True financial freedom, more than just being debt-free.
He goes from, a former slave to a respected citizen, all because of that financial know-how.
What a story.
Yeah.
It shows that no matter where you start, you can change your financial future.
All it takes is knowledge, a solid plan, and that consistent effort.
Those Babylonian parables, they've given us so much to think about.
And there's still more to uncover.
Man, those Babylonian parables, they really pack a punch, I'm starting to think we could all learn a thing or two from those ancient folks.
Right. It's like they had this, deep understanding of money and how to make it work for them. Not just about, getting rich, but building a life of, real prosperity.
Yeah, and it wasn't about, hoarding wealth or being greedy. It was about creating a life of abundance,
Yeah.
Security, fulfillment, the whole shebang.
Exactly. They saw wealth as this, tool, a way to create a better life for themselves, their families, their community.
It's like they understood that money, when used wisely, could be a source of, freedom, opportunity, even spiritual growth.
Oh, totally. It's about aligning your finances with, your values and aspirations, not just chasing those dollar signs.
So it's not the end goal, it's a means to an end.
Exactly. And The Richest Man in Babylon, it also touches on this idea of financial independence.
Ah, yes. That sweet, sweet freedom from financial worries. Being able to pursue your passions, support your loved ones, give back to the community, without constantly stressing about money.
That's the dream, right? And while they didn't explicitly use that term, financial independence, all those principles they talked about, saving diligently, investing wisely, controlling spending, increasing earning potential, they're all part of that bigger picture.
It's like they laid the groundwork for that whole FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early.
Interesting connection. Maybe they didn't have the same vision of early retirement, but they definitely got the value of, creating that life of financial security and freedom.
And that's what makes this book so powerful, right? Those principles of wealth building, they're timeless, universal, they work across cultures, time periods, even economic systems.
It's about understanding those fundamentals. The magic of compound interest, saving and investing consistently, getting that expert advice, protecting what you've earned. These ideas have been guiding people toward financial success for, like, centuries.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into The Richest Man in Babylon, what's your biggest takeaway? What's that one nugget of wisdom you're walking away with?
For me, it's that reminder that financial success, it's not about luck. It's not about some secret formula. It's about, adopting that mindset of abundance, taking control of your financial future, and consistently applying those principles we've talked about. It's a journey, not a destination.
Love that. It's about making those informed choices, building those good habits, and staying focused on your long-term goals. And hey, who knows? Maybe someday we'll be sharing our own financial wisdom, on clay tablets for future generations.
Now that's a thought.
Well, until our next deep dive, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building that path to financial prosperity. And remember, the wisdom of the ancients is always there to guide us.